If you've been here for a while, you know that Mediterranean flavors are definitely some of my favorites. So we are going to make these Mediterranean pastry pinwheels. So delicious, so delicious. I have some supplies already set out, but we do need to finish prepping them. So I'm gonna chop up some of these Kalamata olives, just do a rough chop, and that is not the proper knife. Haven't unloaded the dishwasher yet from running it. All right, so we're just gonna do a rough chop of these. They're already sliced, and probably you would be fine to leave them that way and not chop them, but this is the direction that I have chosen. And we have about, I wanna say it's about a 1/4 cup here. Let's take these sun-dried tomatoes, and again, I'm gonna chop these up as well. And these are in oil. But you guys know I love the dried ones that I found in the grocery store that are not packed in oil. Those are perfect. Every time I go now, I can't find them. So I had to get the ones in oil this time, which is fine. I have my oven preheating to 400 degrees so that it will be ready to go when we are ready to make this. I have 4 ounces of cream cheese here that we've softened up, and I'm gonna add a few tablespoons of pesto. Now this is just store-bought pesto, but you can home make yours if you want to. I went the easy route. So we're just gonna combine this, and actually this is not as room temperature softened as I would like it to be. So we might have to soften this up a little bit. Oh, it's working, we're good. Let me just not dump the entire bowl over though. That would be awesome. So we're just combining it. You can do this with a hand mixer or a blender if you want to. I'm keeping as few dishes as possible. Also, I made these no-bake treats, and they are just sitting here, and they are so tempting because they are so delicious. I need to get these things out of my house. Let's pass them along to neighbors. Whew, y'all. If you wanna see that video, I'll have it linked here so that you can see it, but man, they are so good. I've got a puff pastry sheet that we're going to roll out onto my baking sheet. And I may have let this thaw a bit too long, but we'll do our best. Now you could double, triple, obviously make however much you want of this recipe. I actually think this would be better on my cutting board. And then parchment paper on this. If I seem distracted, I am. It's the Reese's bars that are just calling to me. We're gonna spread out that cream cheese mixture all over the puff pastry. We want this to be, I personally want this to be nice and thick. I want a good thick layer. I'm gonna try and leave a little bit of an edge. Well, I didn't do a very good job. I wanna leave a little bit of an edge over here because I think no, I'm gonna roll it this way. Ugh, I need to leave an edge. We need to leave an edge, okay? Leave one of your edges open. Let's try and leave this one open a little bit. And that's gonna help you to press the dough against itself once you roll it, and it'll help it to kind of stay closed. Ideally, you would have shredded provolone, but we already had sliced, and I didn't want to buy something that we already had. So we're going to use this provolone cheese. You could also use feta. I think that feta would actually be really delicious with this, especially if it's nice and finely broken up, I guess is the best way to say that. Oh, our dog has the zoomies right now. It's so funny when that happens. I don't even know where I was. Lay out the cheese on it. She distracts me so much, you guys. All right, so we're gonna lay out the cheese on your puff pastry, then we're gonna take some Kalamata olives and spread those all around. I think another really great addition to this could be shrimp. That would be so good. Obviously, you could add shredded chicken and stuff like that. We are keeping this vegetarian tonight because we've got some other stuff that we're gonna eat with this that's gonna have some additional meat protein. Let's take our sun-dried tomatoes, same thing, spread all around. Okay, let's roll this up as best we can. It's gonna be a bit messy, and that's okay. You might be better to actually take this off the paper and put it on a floured surface. I've overstuffed these too, which is gonna be delicious, but it makes it a little harder to work with. Now, one of you told me that you could get unwaxed dental floss, and I thought this was such a good idea. Obviously, like it makes sense. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. Unwaxed dental floss, and you kind of tie it through your things that you're trying to cut through, and it'll hold it together a little better. I don't have unwaxed dental floss, but that was a great idea. We're gonna cut with a knife and we'll just see how it turns out. This edge that I was talking about, just pinch it together a little bit, and that's gonna help it hopefully stay shut. So now we're gonna cut into slices, and the ends are not gonna look very pretty, and that's okay. Once we cut, we're just laying on our parchment lined baking sheet. Your serrated knife actually is probably a better option because it's gonna cut through. I'm having to reform mine after cutting. Not a big deal, just, you know, for reference, if you want yours to look perfect, there are ways to make it look a little better than mine does. Okay, now, like I said, my oven is preheating to 400 degrees. We're gonna bake these for about 12 to 15 minutes. They're gonna be so delicious. I feel like I already know that I'm gonna love these because Mediterranean flavors, y'all know, they are for me. I love them so much. These are so cute. Oh man. These are so delicious. Wow. I don't know that I made enough. Those flavors are phenomenal. This is the winner right here. Recently, we've been getting our meat from Good Chop. Tonight, we are making some chicken wings, which are so perfect for appetizers, and we got several packs of chicken wings in our last order. So we are very excited to try actually a couple different recipes. You'll see one in this video and one in another video. But one thing that I really love about Good Chop is that it's really convenient and easy. It comes directly to your door. You can order fully customizable boxes. They've got beef, chicken, pork, seafood. You can get really amazing grass-fed ribeyes or flavorful T-bone or free range and organic chicken. Probably my favorite thing about Good Chop though is the fact that there is no artificial ingredients, no antibiotics, no hormones. That is what we love for our family. And in addition to that, it's 100% money back guarantee, so it doesn't get any better. Head over to goodchop.com/YouTube and you can use my code BYRDS120, or you can click the link that I have in my description box and you're gonna get $120 off across your first 4 boxes today. We're gonna go with a sticky and crispy Asian style wing. So the first thing we need to do, my husband already prepped these by getting them all dry, patting them down with a paper towel, making sure they're nice and dry, and then we just put them here in this bowl. Now, you guys have told me before that if you really want crispy wings, you should add baking soda, but this recipe calls for baking powder. Specifically, it says baking powder, not baking soda.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna give it a shot and see what happens. We need 2 tablespoons of baking powder, okay? So we're gonna sprinkle this in and toss it in the baking powder. Oh wait, how many wings? That looks like a good amount, don't you think?
This is about, it's either 14 or 15.
Wings?
In this
14
one.
wings.
Yeah.
Oh.
What did that say?
40? We're just gonna do 1 tablespoon. All right.
Oh, that's good.
1 tablespoon of baking powder.
Per 20 wings.
Right, so that's pretty close.
Yeah, not bad.
'Cause we're just
and these
short
are larger than
Yeah,
your
they are.
average wings.
Some of them aren't even broken apart. Like it's the wing and the little drumette stuck together still. We need about a ½ teaspoon of salt, just regular table salt. That doesn't seem like enough though. Sprinkle with a little bit of pepper. Our oven is preheated to 250 degrees. These are actually gonna cook low first. I have a foil lined baking sheet here. Let's just lay these out on the baking sheet. 250 degrees for 30 minutes. So into the oven for 30 minutes. Let's make that Asian sauce that's gonna go with these. So I'm gonna turn my heat onto a medium and then add just about a teaspoon or so of oil to my pot and a little bit of salt, just a pinch, as well as a little bit of pepper. It's kind of a lot bit of pepper, not gonna lie. Now, the recipe does call for ginger, fresh ginger, but you guys know I always use this ginger paste. I just think it's so convenient. So we'll probably do right at a tablespoon. This right here is the sweet Thai chili sauce that we use. You can use whatever brand you like, whatever kind you like. You can make it yourself if you want to. We need about a tablespoon of a sweet chili sauce. Let's add a little bit of honey, about 2 tablespoons. And some brown sugar. Now, the recipe that we're going by for these says we need 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. I think that that's a little much just for our liking as far as the sweetness goes, so I'm gonna cut that down to 2 tablespoons. We use this no soy, the soy-free soy sauce, so it's not really soy sauce, but we need about 5 tablespoons of that. And since I have a tablespoon measurer here, why not? I'm also gonna add some minced garlic. Let's just whisk all of our ingredients together. Let that sugar dissolve. My brown sugar is dissolved, so I'm gonna crank up the heat so that we can get this to a boil. We do want it to reduce down a little bit and make a thicker sauce. We're gonna crank up our heat on these sticky Asian wings to 425 degrees. We're thinking around 20 to 30 minutes, not 100% sure how long these are gonna end up taking, but we wanna make sure they're completely done. They have really good flavor. So that's what 425 started around 20 minutes. I decided to take these off of the foil and add them to a rack on top of the foil lined baking sheet. I just feel like it's gonna give them a more crispiness. I probably should have done this from the very beginning. More of a crispiness if you set it off of that foil. So as you can see, they're set up a little bit more now. The wings, I think they are definitely done. We've made wings so many times. This is the longest recipe we've ever used to make wings, but they are nice and crispy. So it might be worth it, you know? Okay, we're gonna put all these into a bowl because we have that sauce. Oh, we lost a piece of chicken, hang on. I had started to lose a little bit of hope for these, I'm not gonna lie, because they were taking so long. I mean, that's a long time to make wings. Maybe this is one of those low and slow situations, you know, where it just turns out really good. So let's top it with this Asian inspired sticky sauce. Then we're going to toss it in that and then they'll be ready to serve. They look good. You know what would be really pretty is if you cut up some green onion for the top of this. I don't have any right now, but man, that would be really pretty. We are actually currently playing a game with dinner tonight, like sitting at the table and playing a game. I'm thinking that sticky wings are probably not the best thing to have while playing a game, so that might have to get paused. Oh, there's actually a couple pieces in here so I can try them without even having to mess these up. That is really good. I can see, I feel like it probably is worth it. This low and slow method. The flavor on the sauce is delicious. The chicken is nice and crispy, and then you coat it in that sauce. This is very, very good. The sauce has great flavor, and since there's not a ton of flavor on the wings, it complements them really well, so it's not overpowering at all. You can definitely taste that brown sugar. You taste that sweet Thai chili sauce. Not spicy at all. Just really good flavor. I am going to make these ricotta meatballs. We're making them in the crock pot. You can make them on the stovetop, in the oven. You can make them however you want to make them. But today is Sunday, which means we're heading out to church, and it's so easy to throw these into the crock pot before we head out. Now, these are actually perfect because if you want to, you can serve them like an appetizer just out of the crock pot and just have meatballs, or you can make some noodles and serve them over noodles and you have a full meal. So just depending on the way that you want to use them, These are so good. We have a mixture here of Italian sausage and beef. So I have a 1/2 pound of Italian sausage and a 1/2 pound of beef. I've already mixed this together because we actually used the other 1/2 pound of each in a different recipe. We made chimichurri meatballs and they're so good. So this is just another kind of meatball that we are using, and we love using Italian sausage and beef together. Adding an egg to this. For the spices, I'm gonna mix together some breadcrumbs. It doesn't have to be this kind. You can use whatever kind of breadcrumbs you love. And sometimes you can just use Italian style breadcrumbs and you already have all your spices in there too. We like to add some Parmesan cheese because it's just oh so good that way. And then for our spices, I personally like to add in anywhere from a 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of thyme, oregano, Italian seasoning, and basil. You can use whatever spices you like. Use your favorite things in this. You could add onion powder, garlic powder. We change these recipes up regularly. I just add in whatever is currently available, what's the easiest to grab out of the pantry. I'm gonna mix these together and then we're gonna get them added to the crock pot. If you've been here for a while, you know that typically I make up my own spaghetti sauce or marinara sauce. And recently I made up a pretty decent amount of it and put it in the freezer so that it was already ready to go on nights when I just need something quick. I actually set this in the fridge last night from the freezer and it's still a little bit frozen, but regardless, we're gonna dump the whole thing in here because it's all gonna cook anyway. I'm gonna use my 1.5 tablespoon cookie scoop to make these meatballs. For me, this makes the perfect size meatballs for our family, so that's typically what I use, and I'll just get as many as I can out of this, and I'm placing them directly into the crock pot just on top of that sauce. Now it is currently about 7:30 in the morning, so I definitely don't need to cook this on high. If you're cooking on high, it's probably 2 to 3 hours. On low, it's more like 4 to 5. We've got plenty of time. So I'm gonna cook this on low, let it just cook the whole time we're at church, and then we're gonna come back from church and add our ricotta mixture. I am so excited and so hungry. My son actually wants to have these over noodles, so rather than appetizer style, that's how we're gonna have them, but make them however you want, okay? So I'm getting some noodles started over there, but we do need to add our ricotta mixture. And for this, I'm gonna add about a 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of ricotta into this little bowl. I'm adding in some minced garlic and then all of our favorite seasonings. So we're gonna use some oregano, Italian seasoning, and basil, and just mix all of that together. Now we're just gonna add dollops onto the top of the meatballs that are already in the crock pot. Just spoon some in, put that lid on, and then that's gonna cook for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, which is perfect timing because my noodles are cooking for my son. I'm very excited about this. I don't even know if I'm probably gonna eat them appetizer style, but he loves noodles, so we're gonna serve them that way for him. I mean, look how delicious this looks. You're gonna get a really easy meal that you put together in just a couple of minutes. Everyone is gonna be so excited about the flavors, the taste, and you barely had to work at it. All right, I'm gonna taste this. It is super, super hot. It's really delicious. And I love how pretty this looks when you serve it too. I mean, picture the fact that you can put this in a big 9x13 pan. You could do this over on your stovetop in a pan and serve it that way. You can serve it from the crock pot. I mean, any way you want, you can serve this. But the flavors are so good, so easy to do. I know everyone's gonna love this one in my house. I do feel like the more meatballs in here, the better if you're gonna serve it as an appetizer. If you're gonna serve it over noodles, like so, then you probably want more sauce. But either way, man, the flavor is so good. Try this one. Our verse today comes from Isaiah 43. A voice of one calling, in the wilderness, prepare the way for the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you need more appetizer inspiration, I have several appetizer videos here on my channel, and you're also gonna wanna stay tuned, especially this month and next, because there's gonna be even more appetizer videos coming up. I've got them planned. I'm excited about them. There's so many good recipes to share with you. I hope you're having a great week.